Hello and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we're unboxing another box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to PSA a little while ago. Just got them back in this box, professionally packaged. Let me get them out of this box and we'll see what grades I get. Alright, let's go. Check out this 1999 Pokemon Jungle set Butterfree, the number 33 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, I do not see any creases, bends, or scratches or any other problems with the graphics or surface of the card. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's a little bit towards the right, and centering from top to bottom, though, I think is within the tolerance. Looking at the corners and the edges, I did not find any damage. Let's take a look at the back of the card, and you can see that our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think is all within the tolerances. Our surface is free of any damage, creases, bends, or scratches. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think our edges are all good. It looks like our two upper corners and our lower right corner all have some very, very slight damage. And Butterfree is going to get a grade of Mint 9. That's really darn good. Let's look at this 1999 Pokemon Jungle set Dodrio, the number 34 card. This card is very crisp and clean. There's no problems with the graphics like creases, bends, or scratches. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the right a little bit. Top to bottom centering, I think it's within the tolerances. Looking at the corners and edges on the front of this card, it looks really clean. I did not see any damage. Flip the card over and look to the back, and we'll start with our surface. There's no scratches, creases, or bends, or any other damage. Our centering from left to right, I think it's slightly towards the left, and centering from top to bottom looks within the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, looks like all four corners have some slight damage, and there's a nick or two of damage down that left side. And that's going to get us a grade of near mint 8. I like it. It's okay. Here is a 1999 Pokemon Jungle set Exeggutor, the number 35 card. Looking at this one, I like the vibrance of the graphics. The surface is free of any creases, bends, or scratches. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think it's pretty close to the tolerance, but our centering from top to bottom is a little bit towards the bottom. Looking at the corners and the edges on the front, I do not find any damage. As we gander at the back of the card, our centering from left to right, it looks within the tolerance. Centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom. Looking at our surface and graphics, I did not see any creases, bends, or scratches or any other damage. Looking at our corners and our edges, the upper right corner has some damage, and the lower left corner has a very small speck of damage. And that'll get us a grade of Mint 9. I like it a lot. I'll keep it. We're looking at a 1999 Pokemon Jungle set Fearow, the number 36 card of this set. Fearow's graphics are nice and clean. There's no dirt, scratches, or creases or bends on the surface. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's a little towards the left. Centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think they are free of any damage. Take a look at the back of the card, and we'll start with our centering from left to right. I think that's might be within the tolerance or really close. Centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom or really close to the tolerance. And looking at our surface, there's no scratches, creases, or bends or other damage. Looking at the corners and edges, the only thing I can see is there's some slight specks of damage down that right edge. And this old Fearow will get a grade of Mint 9. That's their story, and they're sticking to it. Let me show you this 1999 Pokemon Jungle set Gloom, the number 37 card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, Gloom looks really nice. There's no scratches, creases, or bends. No other problems on the surface. Looking at our centering from left to right is quite a bit towards the right, and centering from top to bottom is a little bit towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, I do not see any damage. As we look to the back of the card, like we always do, our centering from left to right is quite a bit towards the left. Top to bottom centering is a little bit towards the top. Our corners and our edges look really good, except there's some slight damage on that upper right corner and a speck or two about a third of the way down that left side. Looking at the surface, though, there's no damage like creases, bends, or scratches. And that's going to get us a grade of near mint 8. Not too bad. You're looking at a 1999 Pokemon Jungle set Lickitung, the number 38 card. Lickitung looks great. I don't see any damage, no creases, bends, or scratches. Centering from left to right is quite a bit towards the left. Centering from top to bottom looks pretty close to the spec. Looking at our corners and our edges, I don't see any damage. As we flip this card, the back of it looks pretty good. There's no scratches, creases, bends, or anything that'll affect the grade on the surface. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it's towards the bottom, and centering from left to right, it's a little bit towards the left. Looking at our corners and our edges, the only thing I see is some slight damage, a speck or two on that upper right corner. And the grade we're going to get is a mint 9. Lickitung did pretty good. This card is a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Marowak, the number 39 card. Looking at the front of this card, it looks really nice. I like the graphics of Marowak throwing the bone at you. It looks really cool. Our surface shows no damage like creases, bends, or scratches. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think, is all really close to the tolerances. They might be slightly out, but they're really close. And our corners and our edges are free of any damage. As we look to the back of this card, you can see our surface is free of any creases, bends, scratches, or any other problems. It looks really nice and clean. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it looks maybe like it's slightly towards the top, and centering from left to right, maybe slightly towards the right a little bit, but it's really close to the tolerance. And looking at our corners and our edges, the only thing I can see is there's a speck or two of damage on that upper left corner. And Marowak will get a grade of mint 9. I think that was a pretty good grade. Let's check out a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Nidorina, the number 40 card. Nidorina looks really good. I like this evolution of the set. Jungle looks really nice. The surface of this card is free of any damage, creases, bends, scratches, or anything like that. Our centering from left to right looks a little to the right, and centering from top to bottom looks a little bit to the bottom. And our corners and our edges show no damage. Let's take a look at the back, and we'll start with our surface. No scratches, creases, bends, or any other problems. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think that's really close to the tolerance. And our centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom. Looking at our corners and our edges, it looks like both lower corners have some very slight damage. And that'll get us a grade of mint 9. Pretty good. I like it a lot. We are looking at a 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Parasect, the number 41 card. Looking at the front of this card, the first thing that jumps out at me is our centering. It's quite a bit off to the right on our side to side. And our centering from top to bottom, though, I think is really close to the spec. Looking at our surface and our graphics, I do not see any dirt, damage, scratches, creases, or bends. Looking at our corners and our edges, I did not see any damage on them either. The back of the card looks just as good as the front, with no creases, bends, scratches, or any other problems. Looking at our centering, though, it continues on the back from side to side. It's towards the left quite a bit. And our centering from top to bottom looks a little bit towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, they actually all look really pretty darn good. And with that centering being quite the way off, I wonder what grade we'll get. Near mint 8. That makes sense with that centering. I'm showing you this 1999 Pokemon Jungle Set Persian, the number 42 card. Looking at the front of this card, I like the graphics. They're very vibrant. Looking at our surface, I did not see any scratches, creases, or bends. Our centering from left to right is quite a bit towards the right. Our top to bottom centering looks a little towards the top. Our corners and our edges, I think they are free of any damage. As we take a gander at the back of the card, you can see that our centering problems continue back here, where it's side to side is quite a bit towards the left. Our centering from top to bottom is a little bit towards the top. Looking at the surface of and our graphics of the Pokeball, there are no scratches, creases, or bends. Looking at our corners and our edges, they all look pretty darn good to me. I don't see any damage. And that will get us a grade of near mint 8. Not too shabby. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the cards I presented. Please like and subscribe. And always remember, you got to catch them all. Have a great day.